Finally, it looks like, we may be going live in a moment. Just some technical difficulties. Just bear with me as we start this live. I hope you are all okay. Happy Easter. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, where I am right here, but I will be starting shortly. Just bear with me. Yeah, finally, we are here. Some background work, I just had to do today. If you can just forgive me. I just been rushing, off, from work. I've been working over the weekends, and there was an incident, on the motorway, here in the UK, and I arrived a little bit late, and just trying to organize, so we could start, this session. I hope, you are all okay, for us to start. This is the second session, of the onboarding system. The last one, I did prior to this one. We were just looking at the principles, of a good onboarding system. If you are in an organic marketing, sales and marketing, business, which means, direct selling, business, also known as maybe referral marketing, for some, and some, the core network marketing. I think, all those terms, all mean the same. I just prefer, organic sales and marketing, because, it's like, this is happening, beyond, your own control. So, when you set it up, it can run, according to the system, you just set it up, on. So, that's why we start, and the principles that I touched, on, we're basically, trying to have a simple, system of onboarding members, and you have clearly defined, parameters, of what they're going to do, and also, being action oriented, so that if new people are coming, just like you do at your workplace when you are starting, people give you directions after on the induction, they give you probably a sheet of a checklist of what you need to do, maybe in your department, and maybe for a lot of us we get a binder telling us so many systems. So many years ago, when I was working in accountants field, we would be learning, maybe when you get into a department from personnel and other departments, you would be having the binders and you want to learn the systems and the like. And so, in this business, because there are so many people, that work in this industry, and they've got challenges that they want to meet. Maybe it might be a spouse who wants to take, the better half, home, or maybe people, intending to do the real business, a big business, might be a challenge, mortgages. if some of you guys, you know, have kind of gone to some of my social profiles, I clearly, you know, say, you know, what some of the challenges, you know, I mean, that I help people with. So if you go to my channels, you know, to my profile, you know, you could see, you know, some of that. Specifically, you know, I think, you know, on LinkedIn, you could be able to see that on my About page. So in this session, we are touching on the second session, which is the, as it were, you know, the four principles, you know, the four keys that I touched on the last slide. Now you are implementing, you know, in a system. So I'm going to show you a system that you probably can implement. Some of you probably are in this industry already, and you can audit your system to see, you know, how it matches to the one, you know, that I'm going to talk to you about. And those, you know, that are new, I'll be showing you this. And I know if so, you know, you would want to start in the industry and you do not have anything to bank on, here is, you know, clearly, you know, some really good, valuable knowledge, you know, that I think you could take away with you. Without much, you know, ado, I'll go on. You know, there's a bit of, you know, some slide, and you know, it's pretty heavy, you know, on slides. I think there will be about 22, but two things, you know, you're going to learn, you know, you know, man, are the action steps. So you're going to learn two action steps if you're going to be learning anything in this. But the rest of it is just details. Just bear with me, you know, as I, you know, get myself, you know, pretty prepared. Right, so this is the 3-7-30 system. And within the first 3, you know, days of you onboarding a team member, it was 72 hours. Within 72 hours, you got to, you know, to ensure, you know, I mean, that, you know, they are prepared, you know, I mean, to take some action. And so, you know, if they have to take action, things are going to be very simple for them. And that's what, you know, we're going to be, you know, touching on now. So within the first 3 days, you know, the new person, you know, you deal with them. In the next, you know, lesson, I'm going to teach, you know, men about, you know, on day 7, by day 7, what they would have done. And then, you know, the next lesson, which will be on the next Monday. This particular lesson in blue, I'm going to, you know, hold that one on this Thursday, same time. And the 30-day one, I'll conclude with the 30-day one on Monday, same time as 8:30. And so, you know, if you're going to go on with me, you know, there's going to be, you know, a bit of surprise for you, for some of those that will stick, you know, with these lessons. So the 2 lessons, you know, we please are going to learn, you know, here is 2 important, you know, an important mind shift that, you know, you need in the first 3 days, which also, you know, will apply to the rest of the days, because this is a heavily mindset business. And because we are dealing outside the comfort zone. And so, you know, whilst, you know, you are working on the business, you should be minding, you know, your mind. And principally, you'll be minding fear and overwhelm for your new employees. You don't want to overwhelm them with a lot of things. So, you know, there is where the mindset comes. You want people to take action based on, you know, clearly demarcated, you know, things they would be doing. And there will be 2 critical actions that, you know, you need to undertake during that period. You have to treat, you know, your new member that you enroll as a superstar. You know, you got to, you know, to brush them up, you know, that, you know, is something that, you know, they're going to really enjoy and do. And maybe, you know, take them back, you know, I mean, to their why, you know, because that's always where we want to take them. Why, you know, they are joining us. You know, principally, you know, we are solving problems in this business. So it's something, you know, that when you enroll them, You want to treat them like, the best person, that is, volunteered, to come, work with you. Just like, in companies that you work with or your employer, first day you treat, you're treated, really nice, that, they really want to work with you. But, the thing is, in this industry, because we're dealing, much up, outside, the comfort zone, you also have to treat them like, oh, well, they might leave tomorrow, if you do not do things, properly, for them, because they might be overwhelmed with fear and all the other, items that come, ordinarily, in our lives. Because it has been said that, our brain loves, it loves to be safe. That's a direction from neuroscience. So, when you go outside the comfort zone, the brain doesn't, appear, like it is safe and it is loved. So, they might bolt, the first, 2 days. So you want to manage this. We're in a fear and overall management business. That is, what you'll be managing. Rather than treating it as a sales and marketing business, treat this, as a management of fear and overwhelm business, that is going to pay you. So there's a leadership, and service that, you really have to be minding here. So how can you tell, if someone is looking to build a business, in here, you have got to ask them, a question like, just so I know the best support for you, getting started. Are you joining, to get a discount, on some of the products, because in this business, there's some products and sometimes some services, maybe it's in some people, it might be travel industry, some people, they might be beauty products. And so, some people join, just for the products. And, so you want to know, whether they join, just to get some discount or they want to build a real business. And accordingly, you channel them if they are, want to be safe, they want to first to try the products. Then we have a different track. In this particular instance, I'm assuming that, we are onboarding, a team member who is going to join us, and they want, to build a business, solving the challenges. The most important mistake, we often make, is we load these people, with a lot of information. Just like you can see, there, that lady there. Imagine, you've come in and give all those binders, information and links to your websites, so many things, and they're confused, they're overwhelmed, and fear and inaction takes place. And those are people that might board because you have not properly gotten them. So we did in this the 2.1 is getting started resource. So we're going to do to see how best we can have a getting started resource for them. So in the getting, I'm not quite sure whether you'll be able to see this. Let me try and put my slide a little bit easier so you can be able to see exactly what I'm on about on the getting started checklist. So this document, it must be no longer than a single page. Maybe you can put some things on the back side of it, on the front side of it, and no more than that. Not those binders, you've just seen the lady with. So your checklist, not only comprise of, maybe a link, to a getting started video. And for some of you, who are going to be, training, others to train, you might want to put a video, that links to this checklist, so that, as your system goes down, the line, you have a video, and you no longer have to deal with each and every member. There's a video that tells them, what the checklist is like. And on the checklist, you'd have some basics like your website and maybe your ID, for getting access to the company, that you're dealing with, and a customer support number, and some third-party tools. Get them connected, with on your emails, maybe a Facebook group, weekly calls, that you'll be doing, or weekly meetings, and contact information, for support on three-way calls, so that they know it's clearly demarcated according to the principle I told you. We spoke about the last episode of this four-part series. Right. This is just an example of what a checklist, would be. You're getting started checklist would be like. Let me just, put it up. Bump it up a little bit as well. You might not be able to see, but for some of you, that want to see, I got a lot of documents, from training that I did, and a whole lot, maybe 30, different, sources of, if you want to do yours, you can check from there. If you don't have one, what will be best? This is just an example of two that that I sampled from that list of 30. Let me just show you. It covers some of the things that I've just talked on the previous slide in a different way. So on the getting started resource, there are two essential things that you need to take care of. You need to have, your new person, should have the confidence, to take action as soon, as they go through the list. And this also gives you, confidence that you have properly trained them, and they'll be able, to train, the people that come after them. So those are the true essential things, that you need to, to be looking at. And this meeting should take no less than, an hour. Maybe a face-to-face, meeting, with them, and show them, or a Zoom meeting. So, I might have just skipped, a slide here. I was going to talk about, the game plan meeting, which is the second item. I talked about two items. The first one, is the getting started resource, and then the game plan meeting, where you are planning, with them, to find out where they are at, what they need to, how they need to start, their 3 days of learning, with you, and the assignments they'll be doing. You need to fit, that sheet on a single sheet of paper. And also, there is some examples of that resource for the game plan meeting. Now we're going to deal with the elements of the game plan meeting. I hope I can safely, come, and show you as we go, in here. Right, the elements of the game plan, meeting is, there are going to be 6 elements I'll touch on. There might be more, but I'll just, touch on 6. You want to help set the proper expectations with your new member. I'll deal, with them on the next slides. I'll first itemize them here. You want to help them identify their why they want to join you, or why they want to join the business, the sort of challenges they might be having. And you want to help them, set a 30-day goal. This is why, why I've just talked to you about what you need to do in 30 days. And on the fifth, you need to teach them how to make a contact list of people they might need. Maybe some of it might be a warm list of people they already know, and another list of people you help them jog their memory of for other people they could approach. I'll shortly be going on with that one and explain. So you want to teach them also how to approach and invite some prospects, and you want them to get into action. This is where where I touched on the previous the keys, because the ideal scenario is you want them to get action, to hit the ground running. So that's why you don't need to overwhelm them, and you need to give them some assignments of the first things they would need to do, like preparing that contact list. That's an assignment you might give them, and then you go over with them on the first list and help them acclimatize how they would approach. So I'm going to deal now with each of those items individually. So we need to set proper expectations in less than 5 minutes. Just so you see what I'm talking about, you need to help set the proper expectations, which is managing them in 5 minutes. You want to press upon them that success or failure is all up to them, but you're not leaving them alone. You are with them all the way if they ever need the help, but you're giving them accountability for the actions, because in here in this business of organic sales and marketing, we join as volunteers, and so you must also assume when they've got something burning inside them, and you want to remind them that success and failure is really up to them, but you're not leaving them all on them. That's why you're doing this game plan meeting and doing the checklists of getting started checklist, and want to prepare them for an emotional roller coaster of what's going to be happening. Because in this business it's an emotional roller coaster. You don't know when you wake up whether you are either other side of the bed or the other. You might be fearing and procrastinating on some certain things. So not any one particular day is going to be like any other, and you want to instill them a long-term mentality that this is a business that is going to pay them full-time income, or maybe according to how they to what level they want to take it. So they want to, that is not something that is short-term that they need. So they need to build some habits and some characteristics that will enable them to ride the storm with this business. So I'm going to touch now on the next. Here you're going to help them, as well, to identify why, their why. They might have told you, maybe they want to bring their husband home, or they want to pay off the mortgage, or they want to buy a new car. All sorts of scenarios. You want to know, what their why, and note it down, somewhere, so that if something is happening and they're having a bad day, and you remind them, hey, but you told me, you wanted to have your hubby home or your wife home. This is the way you're going to have it. Not one day is not going to be the other. Let's share up. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's get the ball rolling. So you want to get them excited about the possibility of what this business can do for them. You want to paint a vision. You don't want to to do like teaching, like probably I'm teaching here, but you want to paint the vision, of what is going to come, if they stick, with this business. So you want to paint a vision, not necessarily having, those things, we normally do, the boards and the like, but a vision, that pertains to the future if they stick, with the business. Because people at the end of the day, they don't buy opportunities, but they buy solutions to the problems. So that's what you want to get them constantly, to be getting, back to, circling back to. You want to, yeah, okay, you want to, we're still on the same point, some questions you might want to ask them, whilst they identify their why is, why did you say yes to joining the business? You'll be asking them in the game plan meeting. And what's missing in their life? So you get a clear, indication, and maybe you might ask them, if they had the money, what would they do, with it? Or if they achieved their goal, how would they feel, Now here is where you help them, set a 30-day goal. Show them, what they will have to do in order to achieve the first rank in the compensation plan, of your company. This is essentially, you don't want to overload them, because they are not there, where they will buy the car, or they will buy the new house, or pay the mortgage, or be, at home with the hubby, whatever, the goal might be, But in order for them to get, into the lofty guild, what we call impossible goals, there is some steps to going there. So within the first 30 days, normally, within the companies, there's some incentives and bonuses, tie that back to their why, how they can achieve that within the next, 30 days. Now, here is where, you teach them, to make a contact list. And I'm afraid this slide, I think, I made a boop, on this particular slide, but I'll, just take it, it's a mistake I made on there. So with the contact list, you would ordinarily, just for bear with me, what's written on the bottom of the slides, it's a mistake I made, but with the contact list, you want to have them, write on a list in the first week, first 3 days, maybe they could approach, 50 people. They already know maybe their mother, their sister or brother, people in their community, and get them to write, that warm list. Those are possible people, that they could approach, from a product approach, like, oh, mommy, I just joined, this new business. I wonder whether you could just help me look, at this. I know, you buy, maybe toothpaste from the supermarket, but I just joined, this business. Could you just try for me, this toothpaste and see how it goes? That might be, an approach, you might be doing, with a warm market. And then you also ask them, to do a contact list of people, that are not warm, but they might be, people maybe within the community, maybe somebody with a stature, like a community leader within. They might fear that that might be on their chicken list. People you normally fear, or you manage at work. One good example, of people, that would not ordinarily be on the 50 on the list. So you want to have at least to start with about 50 people they do, and then you bump it up, with other, with the not so-called with the chicken list of people, that are not within the warm list. So by the end of 30 days, you need to have them, have at least about 300 people that are on their warm list. Why we do that, is with a very small list. They might be, as soon as they do that, maybe they do 10 only. After 5 or so on the list, they already fizzled out. They've already fizzled out. On the many people, saying, no, we can't do this, or the right approach, is not there. So this is why, we do, a slightly longer, so that at least, so that, they build the habits. If somebody says no, they just move on, and deal with the next one. So there's a lot of, scripts that we have and that you could use. If you asked me, I could give you, a list, of things that would normally consider, as things that they, some approaches that they could do. So that you see, I'm not gone yet. Let's just go back, and show my face. Yes, are we still together? Just don't go away. I think we are almost done with this death by PowerPoint. Well, this might not be PowerPoint. I just made this into pictures, because when you're doing this in Zoom, you need PNGs and JPEGs. You can't do the so-called PowerPoint that you do there. So this might be PowerPoint by PNGs. So we just talked briefly on the approach. This is the point number 5. On your game plan meeting that you'll be talking about, the approaches and how to invite prospects. So, like I just talked to you previously, I've got a Rolodex of approaches that you could use. If you ask me for them, I could share that with you. Hopefully we are right. And as I said previously, the reason of this meeting is for them to be able to take action. You don't want to get them into inaction. So the principal reason, why you're in here is you want them to hit the ground running, with some assignments, like doing that contact list, so that you can maybe in the second meeting, within the 3 days, you can sit them around and maybe go with them, how they could approach. But it's up to them to do that first contact list, and then you can jog them. You can jog their memory, on the on possible people they could approach. Maybe at the store where they buy, there might be some people they could approach. But there's also obviously we generate leads on social media. We don't want to go that far at this stage. We want to make it easier, to go on, because on the social media, it might not be, there might not be warm leads. Those will be, cold leads. We'll have an approach, for those, in another, lesson, when you deal with the social media. I think, it is in May that I will, touch social media, how to generate leads on social media. And there is also, a problem on social media, because most of the time, we're not consistent on social media. So you want to streamline, your social media posting, for generating leads, so that you're not overwhelmed as well, with generating leads on social media. Maybe if you're doing, some TikToks, you can repurpose them, properly, on various social media, when you are on the run in the 30 days, and you teach them, how to, to do one TikTok or one, one reel that can, that can go on Facebook and go on LinkedIn, so they can generate the leads. That is a talk for another, another live. With this gentleman, I'm not quite sure, because I haven't factored in, yet how I could see the comments in here. I'm just dealing with this new behemoth of software, but I think I'll get there. So in my next meeting, let's meet on this Thursday, same time, where I'll be dealing with during the 7 days, what you need to do. And the last, onboarding meeting, touching on the 30-day goal, is on next Monday, same time, 8:30. I don't know whether I need to, to say anything, but if you do have any questions in the meanwhile, don't hesitate to reach me on in the either on Messenger or in the email handles, or on this page that you are on. Just put down some comments. And for those people that are going to stick with us, up until on Monday, I'll have a surprise for you. So let's stick this out and learn all about onboarding, because this is, like I said in my previous slide, this is where we mess things around, and we don't develop the freedom that we thought we would have. Because in this industry, that is where the only industry where you can have time freedom if your systems are streamlined and people know exactly what to do, and you're developing leaders, and so you can you can save your time because people know what they need to do, and that's how you have time freedom and personal freedom, which really is the way your mind works. You want to have freedom with that, by personally developing yourself, as well as developing other leaders, because we can't run a business, a proper business without leaders. Just like at your workplace, if the managing directors and those CMOs, COOs are not there, it would not be a business. So in this one, this is a business, a real business. That's why we have systems like, like the previous one, prospecting system I talked to you about, and we're going to be dealing, with a marketing system in one of them, one of the next, episodes, one of the episodes on this mission, what we call the freedom systems, 5 freedom systems. And one of them, is, okay, I've typed marketing system accountability. How how you make people accountable, like I just talked to you about in the previous slide, that it's all up to the person that is joining you, but you're there to support them. So it boils on leadership and accountability. So with that said, guys, I think I've just talked a little bit too much. Sorry, this started a little bit late. I was away, and there was a bit of a hold up, on my way home, and I had to put this up for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great night. Cheers. Bye now.